A very good afternoon, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. It's sad to see ZANU PF MPs threatening SADC leaders. And Tafazwa Mugwadi has tendency of doing this each and every time. But I see this as a miscalculation, especially when we have an extraordinary summit to happen right here in Harare. He says, "Dear President, at one point we had Ian Kama in Botswana, Levi Mwanawasa in Zambia, Lindwe Zulu and others in SA, Joyce Banda in Malawi. I have said a lot. In the end, it was ZANU PF, as was in the beginning. By the time toddlers wake up, elders would have vapored the morning dew." So to me, this is something which can't be taken lightly by SADC leaders, because he mentions former presidents of SADC countries. The same SADC countries they are attacking daily, on daily basis, they are attacking these SADC countries. Recently, it's Botswana, Malawi, Zambia, South Africa. Look at what happened to Sophie Mkwena. Sophie Mkwena was pushed away by the bodyguard of President Mnangagwa. She confirmed that it happened yesterday. So if you look at all these issues, you then wonder, what kind of summit do you want to chair when you are threatening people like this? We all know how Levi Mwanawasa died. Levi Mwanawasa died mysteriously. Nobody knows what really happened to that man. Nobody knows. He was an opponent of Robert Mugabe, a very, very, very strong critic of Robert Mugabe. But his end, it can't be explained. Up to this day, there was a rumor that they even claimed kuti ndo vakamufudza. They made a claim at a certain point in time about that. So if you look at these things, we have a point where Hakainde Hichilema had to abort coming to Zimbabwe because his life was in danger. In the last summit, he attended it virtually. He didn't bother to come to Zimbabwe because his life was in danger. His security was not guaranteed. So with an MP sitting in a Zimbabwean parliament saying these words or writing something like this, do you expect to see leaders like Hakainde Hichilema come to Zimbabwe? Do you expect to see the new Botswana president coming to Zimbabwe, given that the ally of ZANU PF was clobbered left, right, and center, and given the kind of behavior which was displayed in Botswana yesterday? That man was lovely and respectful to the president, but what happened after? The president just vanished. No meeting, no whatsoever, no even trying to say, heads of state, we are here. Can we talk about something very important? Nothing, just like that. When you see these things happening, this is the reason why we always say ZANU PF is becoming a terror organization, is becoming a danger and a threat to the region, right here in the SADC region. You don't do that. They have the audacity to go to South Africa to campaign against other political parties. They had the audacity to go to South Africa to campaign. They had the audacity to go to Botswana to campaign. We have videos of people acknowledging that they voted right here in Zimbabwe for Mozambique. They are claiming, and there is a video of people claiming and very, very happy that they have the IDs, the Botswana IDs. These are Zimbabweans, guys. These are Zimbabweans. And look at the consequences. What do you expect when you have people who disrespect other people just like that? Look at where the region is going. The region is actually sinking. The region is sinking. If we continue like this, and the situation, and this is not resolved, you are going to see a head of state achinyura one day. Kurumadombo, I'm telling you. We are going to witness chaos in SADC. One day you will hear of an assassination of a head of state, a sitting head of state, or even an attempted assassination. You will hear of such things. It's because these people, they are actually promoting a culture of violence. They are promoting a culture of intolerance. Look at what they're saying to Mozambique. Use maximum force. How do you use maximum force on people who are protesting peacefully? How do you use maximum force? Why can't you hear their concerns? Why can't you address their concerns? So if you put everything together, if you put the gap or the time frame put for the extraordinary summit, and you look back and reflect back to the time frames which were given for Zimbabwe, which was peaceful, and for Mozambique, where protesters are being attacked in broad daylight, look at the time frames. There's no agency in dealing with this whole issue. And the Zimbabwean MPs, they don't even care that SADC leaders are coming to Zimbabwe. They are doing so. Why? The major reason is they want these SADC leaders to boycott. The 4 countries mentioned right here, they want the 4 presidents to boycott coming to Zimbabwe to this summit. Is because they want to have a relatively subdued caucus yavanogona kucontrola. They know for sure that Hakainde Hichilema, if he is backed by Botswana president, and if Malawi president then remains neutral or backs the other 2, then it's disaster. It's disaster, they know about that. If Ramaphosa is praised right there in South Africa, and a different narrative comes from South Africa, then they are in trouble. They know for sure that this war issue is going to affect Zimbabwe because evidence is going to be said. Mr. Mnangagwa, what do you say with the people who are claiming to have voted in Mozambique? What do you say about those people? Those questions are very important questions which are going to make it very, very difficult for him to be able to lead and chair that summit. If these young boys come, they're going to give him headaches. They are going to give him headaches. At a certain point in time, they won't even care that they're in Zimbabwe. They might even confront him of Ari Muno in Zimbabwe. Because they're head of states, they're not like young boys. They have equal force to use against you. So this is a man and a political party which is actually throwing the whole SADC region into more chaos and chaos. Where are we going? You're likely going to see Zimbabweans being targeted further. The extraordinary summit is going to take 4 good days. 4 good days of this extraordinary summit. Something must be looked upon. We need order. The ZANU PF government must call its MPs, its officials to order. It's order. So he says, I see shallow minds failing to understand the import of my message. Let me rescue. He says, similar attempts at encircling ZANU PF with the hostile governments were tried before, but strategy after strategy all failed. How do you say hostile when they are talking sense into your government? You didn't hold free, fair, credible elections in 2023. There were no elections in Zimbabwe whatsoever. That was a club, Yamaita, in 2023. What was the reason of us? How do you call yourself a government when you actually understand that you didn't win that elections freely and fairly? There was no election to talk about because you didn't follow the constitution. According to the constitution of Zimbabwe, you need to hold the elections. And that is what these SADC leaders are telling you. And you are busy threatening them to say, and at a certain point in time, you have threatened to deal with certain sitting heads of state. What does that mean? So if you look at this is a very dangerous precedent being set. And it's something very, 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 very dangerous. And we will look forward to see how everything is going to end. But it's most likely that we might see these SADC countries, some of them boycotting this summit. we are likely going to see these SADC countries boycotting this summit, and it will be a disaster. So this is Team Zimbabwe. Let me try to see if there are any comments right here. Your views are of much importance, but it's sad to see Tafadzo Mgwadi saying, oh, this way. He is an MP sitting right in Harare and is sending a message which threatens other states at this point in time. So it is, ZANU PF is becoming too big for its boots. It don't think you are good. Yes, I agree with this comment. Okay, Anzi Duma Boko, the president, the Botswana president, don't come to Zimbabwe. Your life is very, very important to Botswana people, and your family too. Be warned. So personally, I would not recommend these SADC leaders to come to Zimbabwe when such messages are being sent by MPs in Zimbabwe from ZANU PF. It can't. We need somebody who is going to call this government to order, who is going to call these people to order. So it is what it is. We'll watch to see. Are these summit leaders coming to Zimbabwe? We'll wait to see what